Hi, my name is Megan O'Donovan, and I am applying to teach science at East Grand Rapids Middle School. I would summarize my teaching philosophy by saying that students should learn science by doing science. So they should learn things about the world the same way that professional scientists do, and with the same goal of explaining a phenomenon. So explaining some event that they see happening around them and being able to say why that thing is happening. So in order to do this, my students are creating models of this phenomenon or this event that they're trying to explain. They are hypothesizing about why they think it happens, and then they are designing experiments, collecting data and observations to use as evidence to support their hypothesis. They're also using that evidence to structure arguments for why they think this event is happening, and sometimes even arguing with each other if their hypothesis conflicts with the hypothesis of other students in the class. So my students are not just learning content or learning science facts, but they're using them the same way that real scientists do. I also strive to teach science in a way that's accessible and useful for all students. So I know that not all of my students will go into science, but I believe that they should all understand how science affects their everyday life. So things like how their body systems work and how their actions are affecting the world through things like climate change and other global systems. And again, that understanding should go beyond content. I want my students to know where scientific knowledge comes from, so that when they hear about a scientific discovery on the news or on social media, they have some idea of how scientists know what they know. And my students know this because they've participated in those ways of knowing in science class. So those ways of knowing also have to be accessible to every student. So I try to give students a variety of ways to participate, such as being able to represent an idea using drawing or writing or verbally. And I also have my students participate in cooperative groups, where every student is bringing something unique to the group that helps push the group forward beyond where any of those students might be able to go as an individual. I think all of those things about my teaching philosophy are really why I want to teach at East Grand Rapids Middle School. I know that East Grand Rapids is focused on preparing students for the 21st century, and I think that lines up with my method of teaching science very well. I'm trying to get students to understand content that will prepare them to be informed and responsible citizens, and I'm also trying to help them develop skills that will be useful no matter what career they go into. So skills like using evidence to support an argument, communicating their ideas verbally and in writing, collaborating with other students from different backgrounds. And so all of those skills, I think, prepare students for the 21st century the way that East Grand Rapids would like them to. So I chose to become a teacher because I, of course, love working with kids, and I love teaching science because I love seeing kids get excited about new discoveries. That's what always really enticed me to science class, is understanding how things worked, figuring out that new knowledge and those new discoveries, and I really enjoy seeing students get excited about those new discoveries and about understanding something. I hope to help middle school students develop interpersonal skills and basically learn how to talk to each other respectfully, even if and especially if they disagree. So things like the difference between disagreeing with ideas and disagreeing with people, being able to suggest a new idea without discrediting an idea that somebody else has. I also want to encourage my students to be creative and have crazy ideas. I think too often in school, students are focused on the right answer, and they're afraid to share their ideas if they're not sure if they're correct. And I hope that teaching science in a way that encourages students to hypothesize and to share those crazy ideas really helps them maintain that creativity and that imagination, because often those crazy ideas are the ones that end up being the most revolutionary. So I think that I am the best candidate for this position because I am dedicated. I spend a lot of time thinking about my lessons. I've always been a perfectionist and try to go above and beyond to do things right. I'm also a good collaborator. One thing that I learned during my student teaching is that I enjoy talking with other teachers about teaching just as much as I enjoy teaching itself. And I often find that when I'm stuck on planning a lesson, another teacher will see it in a different way and have a really great creative idea for a different way that I could enact that lesson. I'm also reflective. As soon as I get done teaching a lesson, I'm already thinking of ways to make it better for next time. And I also am trying to be equitable with my lessons. So one thing that I reflect on a lot is how to make a lesson more accessible to especially the students who struggled with it that time around. How can I do this lesson differently next time so that those students who struggled have a way to engage with the material? So I think all of those characteristics make me the best person for this position, and I thank you for your time in considering my application.